Now, let me ask you, why do we have law? We need to have law to have peace and order, keeping us safe. Law protects our citizens in a country from harm and danger. Otherwise, things will get out of control, leading to bad consequences. People will behave themselves and have good behavior. With this understanding, now let's look at God's law. Why did God give the law to the Israelites in Exodus 20 and the history? In verse 1, we are told that the Israelites were formerly slaves from Egypt. In verse 2, we learn that God sent Moses to get the Israelites out of Egypt, freeing them from slavery, which they suffer for 430 years across many generations, and bring them out to the promised land that God swore to Abraham. He gave Moses the 10 Commandments, God's covenant law, in 2 tablets inscribed by God's finger himself on stone at Mount Sinai, instructing him to tell the Israelites to obey the law. God gave this law is for the Israelites' own good, as a reminder for everyday conduct. He don't want them to sin against him. This can be found in Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 29 and verse 33. Let me read to you this verse. Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 29. Oh, that their hearts would be inclined to fear me and keep all my commands always, so that it might go well with them and their children forever. Verse 33. Walk in all the way that the Lord your God has commanded you, so that you may live and prosper and prolong your days in the land that you will possess. Another reason why God gave this law is because God is a holy God. He wants people to only worship him only. This is the first commandment. He instructed that there shall not be any other gods before him. He wants people to fear him and obey his commandments, or there will be consequences. The second commandment is no idols in the form of anything in heaven above or on earth, beneath or in the waters below. No one to worship these idols as gods. For God himself is a jealous God who will punish the children for the sin of the fathers to the 3rd and 4th generation of those who hate him. For those who do not worship any false gods, idols, and obey his commandments, God will show his love to them and many generations after them. Shortly after God gave these 2 commandments, not to worship any other God, not to have any idols, the Israelites disobeyed God and made the calf of gold as they complained to Aaron that Moses still did not come down from Mount Sinai. They did not know what had happened to him. They wanted to make gods to help them. This can be found in Exodus chapter 32. God knew what they did and grew angry, wanting to punish them. Moses asked God for mercy and reminded him about his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, that he will make their descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and give them the promised land. God relented. When Moses got down from Mount Sinai to the camp and saw the calf, he got angry. He broke the stone covenant that God gave him, and he burned the calf in fire, ground the burnt remains to powder, and scattered them in water, making the Israelites drink it. Now let's look at the first two laws found in Old Testament. Are there any similarities in New Testament? Is it valid today? I've actually put laws as a table for comparison. As you can see, the New Testament law is the same as the Old Testament law for the first two commandments. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 5, verse 17, He did not come to accomplish the law or the prophets, but to fulfill them. He came as human to set as an example that he can fulfill the laws, not breaking any of them. When Jesus said he did not come to abolish the law or the prophets, he is proclaiming he is God. He still wants to keep the law. Jesus also emphasized that the greatest commandment, which is the first commandment, in New Testament, found in Matthew chapter 22, verse 37, is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. If you love your God sincerely, you will not have any other gods, will not make any idols and worship them. Despite God's commandment, many people around the world still do not worship God. They have all kinds of idols in all kinds of images which they say are their gods. Some use paper and worship the paper idols. Some make them of clay and worship them. Some burn paper idols what they want and pray they will get these idols after burning them. The paper idols can be cars, houses, university degrees, money, baby, and many more. All these are against God's first two commandments to worship only Him and not to have any idols.